However it may appear, the world is founded on paper. That's certainly true for an organization like an insurance company whose business depends on an ever-growing collection of individual files covering clients and policies. It's true of an international bank where rapid validation of paperwork containing signatures is central to an efficient response in a security-conscious market. It's certainly true of public authorities who depend upon well-structured document handling to speed up the process of government and administration. And certainly true of any company whose ability to react to a fast-changing world depends upon the quality and accessibility of its archives. In short, all businesses depend on records, and in recent years, many have turned to the computer to help handle the storage of essential information. But this program is about 4 organizations who've added an extra capability to their document handling systems and who are now benefiting from inexpensive, accurate, and comprehensive records which can be accessed instantly at any time from anywhere in the company. Developed by Philips, digital optical recording is still a new technique. However, there are already more than 30 systems installed in Europe capitalizing on the ability to store documents of all kinds as digital signals recorded by laser beam in the metal alloy of a 30-centimeter glass-coated disc. A Megadoc installation is made up of a scanner to introduce new documents, a high-definition screen to reproduce selected records, and a printer for hard copy. Stored centrally inside special handling equipment are the optical records themselves, which can be selected remotely from any Megadoc terminal on the network to record a new document or to feed their contents to the high-definition screen where a record is needed. Today, Megadoc is part of the everyday business lives of a growing number of important organizations. Hamburg, West Germany, the headquarters of one of Europe's major publishing houses. As well as leading periodicals such as Stern, Gruner & Jahr's activities also embrace books for business and publications on computer disk. But one of the company's greatest assets is its cuttings library, constantly updated and used daily by up to 800 writers and journalists. Initially, the problems of storing many millions of clippings were tackled using microfiche. 80 information specialists were employed to keep the library catalogue up to date, produce and index the microfiche, and handle inquiries from journalists. But one IBM mainframe has had to be dedicated to indexing this information, and delivery of the files on microfiche has often proved slow, with the added disadvantage that only one journalist at a time can have access to each document. Megadoc has overcome these problems, and the fastest possible access to the most comprehensive library available provides the journalistic team here with an advantage over all competitors. Today, Gruner & Jahr operates 2 Megadoc systems. The first simply creates a new disk each day. Both that day's clippings and a proportion of the existing library files are scanned, producing the digital signals for optical disc recording. Megadoc indexes the contents, and the disk is passed to the second system and made available for retrieval by journalists and writers. Within 12 months, this electronic document handling system will contain more than 4 million separate pages. Its contribution to overall efficiency and productivity means that within 3 years, it will have paid for itself. But for the manager responsible for the system, Megadoc brings other benefits. Carsten Hartmann. Megadoc has enabled Gruner & Jahr to improve its document handling dramatically without increasing staff. Journalists request files by telephone, and the document staff select items from the up-to-date Megadoc index held on the IBM mainframe. The central Megadoc facility is then instructed to select automatically the appropriate disk and present the chosen file as an image of the original document, including any artwork and photographs, on a high-resolution monitor. Once the document is checked visually, a printout can be produced for the journalist. In a fast-moving profession, the largest digital optical library in the world produces a response in seconds. Venice, Italy, may seem an unlikely place to find high technology at work, but here sits one of Italy's Committees for Regional Control, a Careco. From its headquarters in one of the many palaces that line the Grand Canal, this administrative tribunal has the job of evaluating resolutions from public bodies all over the region. It must ensure that they are in line with the Constitution and with bylaws laid down at both national and regional level. The Careco receives a never-ending stream of documents for approval, each a date-stamped and given a protocol number, and sent to the archive department where individual dossiers are opened. All subsequent paperwork relating to an application is added to the dossier, which will be studied by the relevant Careco director, who can either approve it or make comments on it before it goes to the committee stage. Many of the applications presented to the Careco refer to previous documents, and these have to be accessed before decisions can be made. Traditionally, this is achieved using a manual card index system, with all the inherent dangers of misfiled and lost cards. Once all relevant documents have been located within the archive, they need to be extracted. Though 3 separate areas have been set aside for the storage of dossiers, the Careco is rapidly running out of space. This style of document handling is proving inefficient and very expensive in its use of valuable office accommodation. By the time the committee meets to consider the applications, frustrations may well have been built in throughout the process. Megadoc can transform the workflow of the Careco. With an initial configuration of 2 scanners, 2 central disk units, and 2 high-resolution terminals, the Venice Careco will handle over 160,000 separate dossiers each year. To play its full part in the management of this workload, the Careco installation is one of the first to use DocSyst, a 4th-generation database package developed by Philips to provide an electronic card index. As the dossiers transfer to optical disks, valuable space will be released for other purposes. Megadoc is providing this important public authority operational security together with minimum search and consultation time. And Megadoc is already improving the Careco's dossier handling routine and flow of paper through the organization, which in turn is helping to speed up the wheels of regional government. Turin, Italy, headquarters of one of Europe's major insurance companies. With over 300 agencies in Italy and representation in 26 countries around the world, Reale Mutua is a substantial generator of paper. But Megadoc is making scenes like this out of date. Today, the filing responsibility for the company's substantial car insurance business is being given over to the Philips electronic document handling system. Here is an archive with more than 3 million separate pages. 4,000 are being added each day. To an insurance company, this is the heart of the business. Handling it manually is both inefficient and insecure. This is well recognized. Reale Mutua already has its basic policy and client data stored on an IBM mainframe. The system, which now handles the documents themselves, has to interface directly with this existing index. Guided directly by the information already stored on the IBM, the central Megadoc facility accesses the cartridge containing the relevant optical record. Inside its individual protective casing, each disc can contain 500,000 A4 pages. But it's not simply the space saving that's important to Reale Mutua. As the company's paperwork is scanned onto Megadoc, all documents associated with a policy become available within seconds. Each file is always complete. Nothing can be removed or mislaid. To an insurance company like this, the benefits of Megadoc are most obvious in terms of service when policies need to be accessed for agencies, for clients, or for internal administration. the details upon which decisions have to be made are always immediately available. Time savings are substantial, and greatly improved levels of productivity and efficiency have become standard practice. Queries which in the past might have taken hours or even days to answer as the relevant file was located can be handled within minutes. All the appropriate information, the policy, client correspondence and office replies are there, and Megadoc allows the user to browse between the documents just as if the file was on the desk. Today, Reale Mutua believes that this department is 30% more productive thanks to Megadoc's ability to work alongside the established IBM Index and offer total electronic document handling. Megadoc not only guarantees that each file is always there, but that it will remain there, safely stored for at least 30 years. Zurich, Switzerland, home of many of the world's security-conscious banks. Largest amongst these is the Union Bank of Switzerland. Founded in 1862, it now has 250 branches in Switzerland alone and employs over 20,000 personnel worldwide. Behind its imaginative architecture, it has balance sheet assets totaling 152 billion Swiss francs, and clients who expect their funds to be as secure as possible. Personal signatures are still the way customers expect to identify themselves. To a bank, the ability to ensure such a signature is genuine lies at the heart of secure business. A local branch or department requiring signature verification on a check or payment order will place the document under a video camera. The image is transmitted to the headquarters, where it's matched against the original held on file. The system is known as telecheck, and the speed of response depends on how quickly the staff can find that original signature. Over 250,000 signatures for the Zurich area alone are kept on individual index cards with relevant account details. Once the specimen signature has been found, it has to be checked against the one being offered on the telecheck monitor. It's either passed or queried and further identification requested. Whilst the telecheck system gives branches access to the central register, in practice it causes delay in the banking service and is open to such difficulties as misfiling, damage to index cards, even loss of records, and only one person can have access to a particular index card at a time. Now, the responsibility is assigned to Megadoc, and by transferring its entire central signature record to optical disk, UBS is able to maximize the potential of its telecheck system. With Megadoc in place, UBS has dramatically improved its system, increasing both convenience and efficiency. Now that the signatures are safely stored away on the centralized optical disks, the Megadoc facility will be developed, building up into a comprehensive electronic handling system for the bank. So, whenever there is a need to organize workflow and handle documents, providing the fastest possible access to any file that may be needed, Megadoc has a role to play. Philips' digital optical technology answers an immediate need efficiently and elegantly. But because Megadoc forms part of the Philips concept of SOFOMation, the logical integration of computer-based systems with the communication networks which interlink them, Megadoc does more. Because of its ability to interface with existing text and data systems, word processors, personal computers, it can quickly become the core of a work handling network which builds on the existing strengths of a text-based system by offering an integrated, versatile image storage and retrieval system. Megafax will enable optical records to be faxed by telephone line to any conventional facsimile terminal. Records on microfilm will be scanned directly, transferring them to the safe custody of the digital optical record. Electronic document handling is set to make an impact on the business world as important as that created more than a decade ago by word processing. In an increasingly competitive marketplace, the speed of access and security of storage provided by Megadoc will present significant commercial advantages to those who use it. There are far-sighted businesses in several countries around the world already bearing witness to that.